Probably the hardest thing about making YouTube videos is having to kind of look at yourself and see the flaws, the wrinkles, the saggy jaws, the lip lines, the whole thing, and then having to suck it up and carrying on anyways. And that's the inspiration behind this current episode of the Art of Practice podcast. We're talking about beauty, about feeling beautiful at any age, and practices to learn to do just that. Welcome to the Art of Practice podcast. I'm Sue. And the other day I was looking for beauty products, right? In the, mature age category, the list of concerns were the age thing. And the algorithm must have heard me. My phone was spying on me because all of a sudden my social media feed was bombarded with reels with Kris Jenner's new facelift. She looks amazing. With Instagram doctors who were just talking about how the latest facelifts are not like they used to be. It's just total advanced technology. It's much less invasive, affordable. You can get half facelifts, and then all the injectables that you can get and all the latest lotions and potions. And I just found myself going down this rabbit hole of all these surgically enhanced ways that not only I should be taking advantage of, but I'm almost lazy if I don't. And it really started to make me think that we're starting to live in a society where looking older is really going to be, pretty much, it's not going to be normal. It's not going to be normal to have wrinkles or to have saggy skin, no matter what your age is, because the latest technology, much like it is for if you're overweight, you can take a shot. Probably the same thing is around the corner for your face. But right now it's very affordable, apparently, to get facelifts. And you almost start to feel it. For me, I almost started to feel like I was being really lazy, or almost, I felt this sense of shame, like, why am I not getting these things done? What's the matter with me, And I just would look at my 63-year-old face and just be like, oh my God, how did you let yourself get this way? Even though I take great care of my skin. I love doing skin stuff. It's so fun. I normally feel really great in my skin, but this particular episode kind of got to me. And I almost felt, it reminded me a lot of when I was in high school and I had a borderline eating disorder, which was pretty common, especially for teenage gals in California at the time that I was growing up. There was huge pressure to be just stick thin. And I just spent several years of my teens and early adulthood just trying to learn how to love myself, love my body for the miracle that it is, and to disregard all the negative messaging that was coming my way. And over the years, I've done so much work on my self-esteem that I was almost shocked at this recent bout of feeling, this level of insecurity. And that's with all the practices that I do, all the things to feel beautiful on the inside, to feel calm on the inside, to feel strong and on the outside. And it got me kind of really interested, what is going on here? Am I the only one? So I did a little bit of research, and it turns out that social media and all the information that is coming our way right now, especially unchecked information, you don't know what's real, what's not real, that's coming our way right now, is creating a real sense of facial dysmorphia. So it's not just body dysmorphia, it's facial dysmorphia, where all the imperfections that we have are starting to stand out like sore thumbs. And there are therapists that are helping people, get through this. There's support groups, there's camps. It's even a name for it called face hate. And that kind of got me just thinking, what can I do? How can practice help me feel good within myself? What can practice do to help me recalibrate my sense of self? So that's what I want to share with you today. I've got 3 practices that I kind of immediately started doing. I just needed this kick in the pants of feeling this certain way to realize, it's time to do these practices, because they are practices that I've done over the years. They're very tried and true, but I kind of just got a little bit behind in them. So time to dust them up and pick them up. The first one that was very helpful for me is to find my beauty power words. Find your beauty power words. What are the words that you can describe yourself with that make you feel really beautiful, that make you feel strong and healthy and glowing on the inside, the outside, no matter what you look like. And I got my particular beauty power words from the actress Justine Bateman. You might remember her. She used to be on Family Ties. I think her name was Mallory then. And she's probably in her late 50s, early 60s. And she's done a lot of speaking. She's written a book about the concept of being an aging face in Hollywood. She hasn't had any work done. And she's she's beautiful, I feel, but it's an unusual looking face when you have the Kardashians and where plastic surgery is so accepted. And I want to just say really quick, I have nothing against plastic surgery. I have nothing against injectables or any medical intervention. I think it's wonderful. And also never say never. Maybe there'll come a time where, I feel like it's something that I really want to do. So, but what I do think is that beauty is a real inside job, and that if you don't feel beautiful on the inside, no amount of surgery is going to be a permanent fix for bringing those insides and outsides together. So that's where I stand with that. But Justine Bateman, what I notice is in the comment section of anything that she speaks about, people will be really harsh about the way she looks. And she's responded to, comments about the way she looks, not having anything done. And she describes herself as, I think I look rad. And I really related to that, that just idea, like, I look rad, I look cool. And a lot of the older women that I see that are just their natural selves, but, just have this aura about them. That's really that's my role model kind of woman. That's how I feel. That's a level of beauty that I think is so earned. It's kind of a rare type of beauty. It's a light that you can see in someone's eyes. It's someone who's really proud to show their naked skin out in the sunlight. And so I really love those beauty power words. I look rad. When I describe myself as I look rad versus I am drop dead gorgeous, I look rad is something that I can believe in. So that might not work for you, but find power words to describe yourself that you really believe in, regardless of what your skin's doing, regardless of how old you are, regardless if you're having a good mirror day or bad mirror day. What are the beauty power words that you can use? I found that really powerful and uplifting, and it almost was like, an instant hit to remind me of what I looked like and made me feel a lot more beautiful inside. The next tip that I want to share with you for our next practice is called mirror work. I've talked about mirror work before in my other podcasts, and it's started or made most popular from the new age mother, Louise Hay, who gets a mirror. And she does this every day. And this is a practice I pretty much try to do every single day as well. But I think I just let it slip a little bit. And you just get a mirror. This is a compact. I rarely wear makeup. And I think I've probably used this like 2 times. I think I've had it for 5 years. But I needed a mirror for this. And you literally look in the mirror. I'll see if I can. Can you see me looking at myself in the mirror? Let's see. Yeah, I think you can see. You look in the mirror, and trust me, this one feels really, it's quite embarrassing, really. It's really, what's the word I was thinking of for it? Listen, it's ridiculous, okay? But it works. You look in the mirror, and you just say, hello, I'm beautiful. Hello, gorgeous. I see you. I got your back. I'm your bestie. You got this. I see the light in your eyes. That kind of thing. You can say, I'm beautiful. You can say, hello, gorgeous, like Barbara. What it does is it's kind of like you speak to yourself like you would speak to your best friend. Your best friend, you would always tell them you love them. They're beautiful to you. They got this. All that cheerleading and encouragement that you would easily say to a friend. We often, when you do mirror work, you might find it actually quite difficult to look in the mirror and legitimately feel that way about yourself to the point where you can say those things. So it's a practice If you find it really difficult, you actually probably could really use this. And what I have found is that in the morning, when I first see myself and my face is puffy and I just seeing all the things, and I just look in my eyes and I just kind of smile and say good morning and you're beautiful and what a life we're having, and just just acknowledging the self inside. Like I said, beauty's an inside job. And when you look in the mirror and you just see these eyes, you see they're the window to your soul. It's just a practice of connecting with the ageless person who's just perfect, pure perfection, and just acknowledging them, acknowledging that that's the real thing. Our bodies are just temporary meat vessels that are just going to, be gone in the blink of an eye. But our souls, I feel, are eternal. And this is a way of learning to acknowledge your soul, learning to acknowledge the truth of yourself, and to see the real, true beauty in yourself. So mirror work it seems silly, it seems super ridiculous, but it's actually a very powerful practice. No one needs to know you're doing it. Just looking in the mirror, first thing in the morning, and just see if you could just look in your eyes and see the true you, and just remind yourself how special you are, how beautiful you are, that you've got your back. And the last thing that I want to talk about is that when this happened for me, of just feeling a little bit insecure about the way I looked, I recognized that actually maybe it was a little nudge from the universe that I could do a little bit better, that I could step it up, that maybe I needed a little bit of pampering. I live in a rural area. I'm very remote. I'm a good hour away from a place where sometimes I even have to fly to Sydney to get my hair cut. So my hair cutter is far away. I don't get facials like I used to. And I realized, I haven't even been doing my DIY facials like I used to love to do. I'm a big DIY facial person, but sometimes I just get slack up here. I just fall into being a pioneer woman, and I don't really care about that kind of stuff. And it's a real effort. It's a real practice to keep up those self-care rituals. And when I thought about it, it had been a while since I'd put my special face stuff on and just given myself a facial. And so I did just that. And just the act of doing self-care practices, it helps you just know that you're loving on your skin, you're taking good care of yourself. And when you take good care of yourself, it just automatically gives you kind of a new perspective on your beauty. I know from working out, I feel good in myself. I feel my muscles are getting strong. I'm standing nice and tall. So it's the same kind of thing with doing little beauty rituals. Just stepping it up a little bit makes all the difference. It certainly did for me. So those are 3 practices that are just little things to just help get that sense of self coming back when, the world wants to tell you that you need to go under the knife to look better, to look more normal. I think that these 3 practices are really a self-responsibility to connect to your soul, to connect to the beauty that is within you. And I feel that when we do that, it shows on the outside, makes all the difference. So has that ever happened to you where you're just getting all this social media information coming at you where you just feel like you should be locked up for having that aging face? Like you should not even be allowed to go outside your door. Have you ever felt like that? What did you do? What practices do you do to help yourself feel beautiful? Or is there anything that I said today that resonated that seems like something that you'd like to try? I'd love to know. Tell me about it in the comments. And if you like this podcast, I have a heap of them in the Art of Practice podcast, which you can find on any of your favorite players. All right. I look forward to talking to you the next episode. Thanks for watching.